What's up, guys? Andrew here, back at you in another video, and yeah, this week's just been a hectic week, and I'm finally getting to this top 5 Fridays list here, and this week is the one that I picked personally, I suggested, and actually I suggested something different, and it got changed, and that's okay. I get to pick some cool movies. This is top 5 meta films. Now, if you've seen the other videos or if you haven't checked them out, I'll just explain it real quick. Meta films are basically movies that acknowledge that there are other movies out there, acknowledge that there are cliches. The most, influential of these films is definitely Scream. That's the one that everybody knows. It points out, Halloween and Friday the 13th and all those slasher movies, and it references them in the film. So that's what makes films meta. Also, films can have meta premises to them. I was very, very specific in my choices. There are some movies that you could very, very much consider meta, like Ginger Snaps or Cherry Falls. Those ones there, I would say those would be meta films. But I went ones that fully that told jokes about other or that referenced other films. So. And if we ever go do this list again, I will probably put those other ones in there. Also, this can't necessarily just be one reference, because I know she did last summer had a reference to the urban legend of the guy with the hook. Urban Legends has a ton of urban legends in them. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about. You'll see what I'm talking about here as I get into my list. Number 5 is The Backlot Murders. Basically, this movie, literally what the title says, it takes place on the backlot of Universal Studios. I'm going to pause my watching Dawson's Creek. I had to pause it. It takes place on Universal Studios backlot, and it's a slasher flick, and that's basically it. It takes place, you get to see all the scenes from Jurassic Park. It's a movie within a movie. It's referencing Jurassic Park, Psycho. The killer has an Elvis mask. It's awesome. It's really, really fun film. And yeah, really awesome, fun setting, characters cool, really decent kills as well. Number 4, and this one is just all around just meta, and that is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. This is a movie on our upcoming episode 21 of our podcast of Woodsboro Bros. Me and my brother have. I was going to pick this one. I figured instead we could do that with like a double feature of the original. This is like a meta sequel, remake, everything. It's everything in one. It's like a reboot. It has some of the same kills. It's got the same story, but it's like meta in that everybody knows that film exists. And so this is like playing off of the original film. It's so awesome. And this is one of the most beautifully shot slashers I've ever seen. It is so damn good looking. I really think this movie is just vastly underrated. I feel like it just needs more love. Number 3. And this one I don't know if too many people will know about. And that, of course, Backlot Murders, who the hell would know either. But Final Stab. I watched this one with my brother a couple weeks ago, and yeah, I love this movie. I like the characters. They're all entertaining. The kills are pretty decent, but the premise of this movie is they come to shoot a movie, and they're in a movie at the same time. So like they're shooting a movie, but then that's about a killer, and a killer's killing them off using the same mask. So it's a really, really cool premise. It's very meta. And I think this movie is a really, really fun film. Number 3. I have much, much love for these films. Number 2 is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This exists. It's not necessarily meta in the sense that all horror films exist, but the Nightmare on Elm Street films exist. So all of those exists within these films. So I really like this film. I can't say much. It's Wes Craven. It's only he could come up with an idea like that. It's so cool. And then, of course, number one, I just couldn't pick one, so I picked the entire Scream quadrilogy. Yeah, it's a quadrilogy, whatever. But the fourth one in my top 20 of all time, probably, I think I lowballed it with a 9.5. And Scream, my favorite horror film of all time. Scream 4 does such a great job of capturing a lot of the fun feeling about the original and just... but yeah, if you haven't noticed, the theme of these Scream era films is just awesomeness. Great posters. Fuck the haters. In fact, show you a little bit more. H2O. Yeah, that's not meta. And this barely didn't count, but I was going to, but maybe on the Meta 2 list I'll count it. But the Scream films, obviously, if this is a bona fide top 5 list, that's obvious. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in, guys. I will be back next week for another list. I don't know what next week's is, but see you next week, guys. Peace.